Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to the second game between 4chan and Reddit. And this time the map has been switched up to the 2 vs 2 map, Jungle Law, so it should be a nice tight fight. Should be pretty insane. And on the right side, we have our Reddit team as the red 4 this time around. Last time they were the blue 4. And we have Zach76, Sandwich Boy, Legatus, Dr. J, Mirage 2000C, Poopface. And I gotta actually have to see, like, what the full name of Poopface is here. Poopface, poop on your face, Johnson. Pretty funny. And we have Reeve Beaver and the very same guy who brought you NAFTA in the 90s. We have Bill, Blow My Sacks, Clinton, Rango, and Sky HG. On the left side, we have our 4chan team. Consists of Zyper, Frosty, Vaughn. I got that right this time for you. Nandemoniai, Kung Fu Treachery, Sizable Supervisor, Futhark, Rarushu, Toast Ghost, and Sharky Ward. Very interesting names. Really love them all, guys. So keep it up with the interesting names there. We're gonna speed this up just a little bit till all the units start coming on out. Again, it's a very, very tight map compared to the previous map that was actually intended for 10 vs 10. And so instead we have a slightly smaller map, jamming 20 people on this map that's typically meant for 2 vs 2. I suppose you could put 3 vs 3, 4 vs 4, that sort of thing, but so be it. And we have Hotel over here. And lots of empty space here, easily can get around there with some recon, but there's that open space that's a little bit hard to get through, and a lot of wooded territory on the far left here, on the far left side of Mike, that you can get through as well, and possibly hit Mike. So both these sides here will be heavily contested, and Golf appears to have lots of people going to it, so I can tell right away that Golf will be a pretty wild ride. And we have K-52 helicopter recon now moving up, already out of missiles, already fired those, and tons of troops moving for the Red 4 team. And surprisingly, the Red 4 team has very little helicopters, which is usually the complete opposite. Some napalm has gone down in front of Echo here, so gonna force all these troops here to have to go around that. It's gonna slow them down just a little bit, but shouldn't be too big of a deal. And lots of air troops now landing here for the Blue 4 team. Vaughn dropping down a ton of stuff here and going to walk them into Echo. And Gulf still. Nobody really has gotten just here yet. And lots of troops now pouring in. Looks like they're going to be moving over to this wood line here. Going to hold out there for a little while. Some smoke going down to stop sight range here so that these troops can get up towards here and battle it out all here. Get up in here and here. And Mike, of course, not too much heading towards here, but we do have some recon moving up. Huey dropping off some recon. We have some anti-air as well. The usual for the sides of the map. Bringing up some CVs now on that left side as well. And now the battle has begun here in Echo. All the troops now moving up into the town. And lots of troops trying to move in here, but we'll see if they can stop any of these troops before they get there. Not too many, not too much armor on the map, surprisingly, between these two armies here. Very, very little army, in fact, or armor, in fact. Mostly just troops everywhere. So we'll see how this works out for both of the teams here. And here's some armor over here, some T-80 OUs moving forward to the Leclerc, and Leclerc running for its life now as T-64 and 2 T-80 OUs moving at it. And Roland moving up, and Flak Panther as well. And going to be trying to get inside this wood line here to deal with that. Just a huge clash going on all over the place. It's sort of hard to follow, actually. And all the troops have poured in. Some napalm has gone off all over the place here, burning up these troops, separating them from the town, so they're just going to stay in the wood line for the moment. And we have an SU-122 there. Always love seeing the SU-122. And U.S. Marines now moving up through the wood line here, and going to try and force out all of these armored carriers and such. Right side here has been well secured. Mirage, just in case anything's in this wood line here. I'm moving along. Gonna get spotted by all that. In the center here, a battle going on for this mountain line. And some troops now moving up the center as well. And in here, just tons of troops all moving up. Very, very little armor on the map. And lots, not too much air power either, I see. There are some jets flying around from time to time, but mostly these troops here are actually able to get up through. And very, very low-cost troops trying to move into the wood line and trying to get up into the town here and secure Golf. And if they can get up all the way to the edge of Golf, it will be very, very hard to have a CV. And we have the CV for the Red 4 there in that wood line. The CV for the Blue 4 here is a Furung's group and chilling in the town there, pretty well hidden. And if these troops can get up to the edge of the wood line here, they may be able to spot that UAZ, or perhaps if they just get a little bit further, they are on a hill slightly higher than that UAZ, so that should give them a little bit of an advantage, a little bit of a sight advantage as well. And now the left side here, Mike, owned by the Blue 4 team. Blue 4 at a +1 advantage, 33-30, so very, very even at the moment. And the battle continues here. We have some troops to hold off anything up here. Looks like the Blue 4 push has been sort of thwarted in the center here. Lots of bombing has gone down here where there were some troops earlier. And the push continues with all these light troops, very, very low cost, and trying to move into the town. And on the right side, still trying to hold out here. Looks like Red 4 has contained this area pretty well. Echo is now in the hands of Red 4, and should be for a while, as there's quite a bit around here, and not too much of the Blue 4 actually moving up at the moment. Vaughn now dropping off some troops here, and going to try and push forward again, but it's going to be a bit hard as there's just so much here right now for the Red 4. And so that could definitely just screams bomb me, as there's just stuff everywhere over there. And again, a very, very tight map. So 10 versus 10 on this map. There has to be some kind of clustering going on. Otherwise, you really wouldn't be able to, not enough room to spread your troops out all that much. And some recon down here. Going to spot anything moving up through here again. And looks like the wood line here took a huge bombing. At least once or twice there. All of those low-cost troops have been destroyed. Some of them have made it past, and that CV has been destroyed at some point. I actually didn't see what destroyed that CV. Could have possibly been the Canadian Airborne, or it could have been the reservistes as well, but not really sure either way. It now belongs to the Blue 4 team. And pushing up through here with some helicopters. And going to spot the VDV there, firing on him, and some additional armor now coming down the left side as well, some T-72s. And the Blue 4 has pretty much a commanding presence on the left side of the map. The middle of the map pretty much is dead even here, as the Blue 4 are pretty much even, and the Red 4 also have that tree line there. And the right side of the map is pretty much dominated by the Red 4, so very, very even game so far. Although our Blue 4 team has that +1 advantage. So far they've gone up a little bit more. And we have Gewehrmen here trying to push back into the town of Echo there. But there is quite a bit in their way. We have the Geogokte trying to hold out, but they're not in the cover of the woods there, so they shouldn't last too long. Although there is 19 of them, so I suppose it will take a while to chip away from that. And looks like we have the BTR here firing all the way into the wood line at the Gewehrmen, so they're going to be taking a lot of damage there, and may actually beat these Gewehrmen just because of the fact that this BTR is just firing on this right side here, and an FSK moving up on both sides here in the woods, and so we'll see if he can take that later on. And now in between Golf and Mike here, Red 4 pushing up again. Lots of T-72s, looks like 4 of them now pushing forward, a 5th one on the way. And trying to push in here, looks like some air power had taken out 1 or 2 of them, and now going to push forward in this little tree line here. Going to stop and wait for anything to push forward from the Blue 4. Leopard is going to go to the edge of the line. And should be able to hold out there for a little while. It's the cheaper version of the Leopard. And also some Fallschirmjägers there on the end. And either side can really push forward there. So they're going to have to use some air power to really stall them out a little bit. And Peace Ryan there tries to fire at that BU, and looks like he hit it once there and took it all the way down to 1. We're going to have to repair that up before he goes in there. Sandwich Boy calls for help in that area there. And Fusiliers trying to push forward. Golf still belonging to Blue 4 and Mike as well. And now back in Echo. Looks like they're actually doing a pretty good job of pushing forward here. Lots of Jaegers pushing forward. I don't know if I really know how to pronounce that very well. I think I looked it up once, but it's a little difficult. I think it's Swedish, or maybe Swiss, perhaps. whatever. And LSTR's here trying to hold off in the town. And should be able to hold out a little while here. 15 of them. Shouldn't have too much trouble. And at least hold off a while for some additional troops to get in. And still the right side dominated by the red 4. Really can't get up in there too well. Some troops here that need dropping off. Some troops that need unloading. Looks like he's doing that just now. And Gaverman now going up in there. And XA as well. Chasing after that S drop. And trying to get back there. And we have some Iglas here as well. But they are completely out of infrared. Iglas. And B5 going overhead, and I did not see what it dropped on. Oh, no, we do see what it's dropping off. It looks like it's going to hit right on this town and destroys multiple troops there. Looks like some troops were trying to make it into the town as well, and took out that, did not hit that FSK, or at least did not destroy it, that is. And now the red 4 is trying to hold on to this forest line as the blue 4 is pushing up. Now the blue 4 has made their presence all the way up through this wood line and now into the bottom of the little mountain here. And are making their way up the center in between the two as well. The Bradley CV, some commandos to recon. AMX also moving up here. And back on the left side, some smoke has been dropped to allow a push forward here. But still nothing too crazy going on there. FSK in a little bit of trouble here. Probably not going to last all that long. Morskaya Pekotas in the wood line here. I'm going to try and stop these XAs, but unfortunately getting shot at by what looks like the Leopard there, all the way from downtown across the way, and taking damage every shot there. The Furungs group has been, looks like it has been spotted by Bill, apparently, and knows that that's there. Calls for defense, although I would assume that should be probably offense rather than defense. Tigers moving up, Leclerc's, a couple tornadoes moving in as well. And just going to evac those as soon as he drops those bombs. And there they go on the wood line there. A couple good hits. And it does not take out that ZTZ though, but it does take out the troops with those HE. And Gaverman, just 3 of these, going to try and push in. Still, Echo heavily defended. And now a 0-0. For both of the sides here. 134 for the blue 4, 30 for the red 4. And now a CV has been placed in Gulf here, along with the Furungs group. So 2 CVs in Gulf. However, that CV for the red 4 there is neutralizing it, and thus nobody gets it. But they do see that there as the attack has been placed, and it looks like some air power, or some artillery being blasted in now, and trying to hit this CV truck here, and looks like not having too much luck in doing that. Looks like it just like, or nope, it's not a CV truck, just CV troops. My bad there. And Pekoda still holding the wood line there, but Mike still in control of the blue 4, rather. Blue 4 in control of Mike. Oh my god. And on the center. Nothing to kill it. Ah, that's not good. Yeah, sure you do. Legion, some stuff, whatever. And on the right side, Echo still holding strong here with the red 4. Panzer Grenadiers trying to move in now. And Leopard 1A1's moving across. Some pretty bad Leopards, some pretty cheap ones, but they will get the job done against these little troop carriers here, the BTRs and such. So not a big deal there. The Navy SEALs are just now making their way up the hill and have stopped here for now to get a good recon. Gonna move forward a little bit. And Gulf is now in control of the blue 4. Once again, blue 4 in control of Gulf, rather. And see, the CV troops have been brought back. As all these troops here were moving up on them, so we decided to bring them back, keep them alive for now. And Gaverman now moving up. So we have 21 of them, but now versus Spetsnaz. But they are the Spetsnaz crew, so they do not have those that napalm, so they won't do as good here. But we have quite a bit of Yuk Yunde moving in as well. So just 10 of them, so just a squad there, and some artillery coming down all over the place here, as there's quite a concentration of troops to hit. And it looks like most of the artillery not hitting quite on target, but that is the nature, or the RNG of that. And Now the blue 4 is pushing up even more. Lost some troops there in the center, but now some legions here are trying to push forward and hold this area here. Could actually bring these down a little bit more. Seems like he's fine just holding that there at the moment. And lots of attacks going off for the blue 4 team. Calling out areas here. We have Mi-6 helicopters in the back to resupply everything. And those would be a pretty juicy target. There they go. There goes one of them. And all that supply there lost. And the next one still chilling there. And more troops pouring in here just from all sides here. Just both sides just pouring troops in to the fray. And just losing them quickly to each other as it's a 10 versus 10. So everywhere you go is pretty much just an artillery fest or a death fest in some way or another. And on the right side, again, Stormers trying to move into the town and may actually be able to get into the town for a little while here. The Yuck not doing too good as they only have one in that squad. But there's 20 here and only 6 Mott's shoots and Legatus surrenders, and that is part of the Red 4 team there. But that happened last game as well. Somebody left early, and then somebody left on the other team after a while. So not too big of a deal there to lose only one man. That does mean a little bit less micro for our Reddit team, as Reddit is the Red 4 this game, and 4chan is the Blue 4 this game, so sort of switched it around, switched up the map too. And we have some artillery coming down, and coming right down on this Mi-6 there, stunned it, but it may be able to get away. And it is worth 85. It does cost 85 to get this, although this game isn't a destruction game. It still would be good to get rid of that, as it does provide quite a bit of supply, but it does have a couple of euros now, but even 2 euros doesn't match the equivalent of the Mi-6. And we now have an M1A1HA moving forward here, and some Navy SEALs too, but Navy SEALs moved in a little bit preemptively and ran right into some fire from all kinds of sides there. So the BDRM and the BTR now, and the FSK here trying to hold out, but and they did get rid of that BTR there with the frags. I believe it was the 30mm frag, so they were pummeling them up pretty good, but they finished it off with those stay close missiles, 1,000 meter range, so it did hit all the way from there. And that HA is in a little bit of trouble here. Only 3 bars of pellets. You had a supply up here, a supply all the way over here. Could repair that up, and then we'd have 2 good solid HAs to push forward. Now U.S. Marines are in the town and trying to hold out against these Hyundai, but they were stunned for a moment there. And Su-122, if that's the same one, it's still alive, doing pretty good there. Gotta love the Su-122. And Golf still holding strong here for Blue 4. Lots of Hyundai, lots of troops now pouring in. But unfortunately can't really get past. There's all this empty area here. As soon as any kind of troops move out of there, they'll just get pummeled by all sorts of firepower and combined arms. Lots of artillery coming in right on this dense area of troops. T-72 gets finished off. Su-122 may actually get finished off. And Bells get destroyed there. Looks like they were just using those to scout. Did see some of that stuff on the ground there, so some artillery should be coming soon actually to respond to what was on the ground. Buratino fires, peppers up this whole area. Not sure what all it took out, but the Leopard's in a little bit of trouble there, burning up all the crew inside there. Would hate to be in that tank. And the attack has been called for that Buratino, but it's already been moved out. But the Bucks are near there as well, and actually could get take a hit there from some stray artillery should some come in that area there. Looks like some more artillery was coming down. Either that or that was just the last one. Nope. And we have some artillery moving in. And we'll see where that is firing. Probably on that attack, but we'll have to see. And it indeed looks like that is the case. But unfortunately, there's nothing there. But almost hit those Bucks indeed. As I said earlier, some RNG might come into play there. The Bucks may take a stray hit. And Panzer Grenadiers have taken the town along with the U.S. Marines, forcing the Red 4 out. And now all we have here is that CV in the back. Fairly well armored CV at that, but not really going to be able to hold out for too long. And as soon as the Blue 4 team decides to bring up a CV, we'll neutralize that territory, and we'll give the Blue 4 team a +2 advantage just from neutralizing that. And if they can actually finish off this CV back here, give them a +3, so they'll be winning pretty quickly in that sense. 230 to 30 for the Reddit team. The 4chan team doing pretty well this game. Last game, the Reddit team actually did quite well at the beginning of the game. It actually looked like a complete stomp in the beginning of the game. They had a lot of points coming in. I think at one point they had a +4 or 5 advantage at the start, but eventually just lost it. So we'll see if the Reddit team, the Red 4 team, can turn the game around, sort of do a mirror match, if you will, as of last time. But now Golf has been totally taken over here. Red 4 getting pushed back even further and further. Blue 4, every time I look over here, getting a little bit further up there. Now some 39 Stormers getting in the town there. That's going to be hard to take care of. And now Echo still belonging to the Red 4 here, but that CV is in trouble really soon here as those Stormers get a little close. Can Gustav the shit out of that CV and should be able to finish it off, but only has 14 left. Has to deal with this T82. And pushing up a little bit more and more on this right side. Has some seals moving up as well. Bradley there for some recon, and that HA looks like it still hasn't been repaired there. It has a few points of damage. I'm not sure. I haven't actually looked there in a while. Probably lost one of them, and that is just the other one now. And has brought that CV back a little bit. And now belongs to the Blue 4 since he is moving this CV. But since he'll probably stop shortly here to actually just neutralize this. But looks like he's on fire there, so he has to move around a little bit. So now a +3 advantage for our Blue 4chan team. And now lots of recon cheekies moving up. The Morskaya Pekhota here trying to hold off against the Delta Force, and the Delta Force probably will finish off the Pekhotas, but unfortunately there's 20 Motostrelki that should be able to do the job just against 5 Delta Force there to finish that off. And Cargo here supplying all this area. Pretty good spot for some Cargo there. Actually has a pretty good range. And Stormers are still holding strong here. I don't remember how many came in there originally, but there was quite a bit there, 27 of them. Holding out pretty strong. Ooh, that was a direct hit from that artillery. I'm surprised it didn't destroy that T-72 in one hit, but does take a few hits, of course. But that T-72 is hurting bad now. Only has 3 bars of health. And on the right side here, that CV has been brought over to the opposite side of the mountain. And meanwhile, a BTR T-80 push is pushing through here, giving some support to that. And lots of BTRs moving in as well again. So it is neutralized though, but still leaving our Blue 4 team with a +2 advantage. And the hill here pretty well defended. And now Abrams moving up here. We have the Chaparral for some anti-air. And Bell's also moving up as well. And perhaps just using these for scout purposes. And just sort of baiting the Iglas with these bells here, just sort of taking away all of the rockets of these Iglas. And also seeing where that fire is coming from using those bells too. So nice use of scouting, just sort of sacrificing those. And don't tell the pilots of those helicopters that that's what that mission is. And a big battle going on now. Looks like Blue 4 has made it all the way onto the hill now. Again, every time I come over here, the Blue 4 is just an inch closer. Sort of like those ghosts in Mario. Every time you look away, they get a little bit closer. And now these Stormers, they're going to finish off these Motostrelki, no problem. And Yukyunde coming around the backside of them, but they should be able to handle those as well, as there's only 10 of them. And they did finish out the Motostrelki, so now all the firepower going over to the Yukyunde and losing them fast. And Riflemen pushing up here, and some Rangers outside of cover and trying to battle it out with the Pekhotas, but there's only 5 Riflemen and 6 Rangers against 26 of these Morskaya here, and a VAB moving up, but gets peppered up by that T-72, went up the wrong road at the wrong time. And on the left side here, still no pushing. Pretty content with just holding this line. And has pushed up a little bit into the tree line, into the various tree lines here, but otherwise really can't push up too far as there's the bridge here, and it's really not going to be able to get over that without totally clearing this whole area, as your troops are just going to go through and just going to pretty much get peppered up the whole time. Could get some amphibious units to go over there, but pretty content. Not really necessary to get over there at the moment. And Foxtrot being held, and there's a CV right up close. I think that's sort of a pretty bad spot for a CV. Some CV troops there right at the end, and we have one back here as well, and both of them are kind of out in the open. This one's slightly covered there by some slight forestry, if you will, light forestry. And Echo still holding strong, neutralized on both sides here, both sides holding it. But looks like the red for not for long, as these Panzer Grenadiers are moving close to that CV. And now on the right side here, the Pivads just peppering up something. Good old Pivads. Love the Pivads. It's such a great unit. Only 40 cost, and really does the job on just about anything. Also stuns units as it has a high suppression rate, so it just stuns. Even the T-55 there is sort of stunned just because of all the bullets hitting them. And another big push here coming up, and a pretty wicked fight here. And I'm just waiting for all the artillery to come in real soon. And artillery coming down all over the place here, but not too much there. The Leclerc there, but other than that, really not too bad. And it looks like the blue forward push is going to lose out on this left side here, but not too big of a deal, as they still hold golf either way. And a couple T-80s here trying to defend the CV, doing a really good job of defending this CV. This CV has been in trouble many, many times, and always held out pretty strong. Lots of cluster bombs here coming in, and kind of exploding there, if a little bit. And Mott shooting, pushing in. K200s firing, peppering all over the place here. Lots of them. 5 K200s just unleashing 50 cals. So those Mott shoots are in hell itself, just under fire from so many 50 cals, and didn't last long, not very surprising. And we have A1Gs here moving all the way around. I'm surprised these are even lasted this long. Why are the T-80s not firing on these is the question, and how are these still alive? And there they go. Now going to make it into the town. This one is still going strong. Very questionable. Oh, and some mad bombs there go on from that block. And now some cluster bombs going on all over the place there. Finally finishes up that CV, giving Blue 4 that spot there. But it looks like the Blue 4's CV has also been destroyed, so it is just entirely neutral at the moment. So both sides have to sort of scramble to get a CV in there to get those points. Mostly Red 4 needs to, as they're a little bit lower on points with that +0 advantage. Only 30 points to 477, so only needing 23 more points or so to win the game here for Blue 4, the 4-Chan team. And now Stormer is moving across. And that's a very interesting name, Sturmpyrenjarer. I think that's how you say that. I'm actually not too good at the umlauts pronunciation, but whatever. You guys get the point, eh? Stern Pioneers moving forward. I get back under the mountain here, but no CV really available, and I'm not sure if one is being brought in or not. Could actually get just sort of a helicopter CV in there and just sort of drop it and then run them in there. Attack has been placed there by Vaughn, but they already win the game, so 4chan takes game number 2 as well as game number 1. But I'd say Red 4, the Reddit team, played a little bit better in the first game, not so much as in the second game. The second game was pretty hectic, though. Right side held pretty well the majority of the game. Left side didn't really get that left side very well, although they did have to cross the bridge in order to get the left side, so that's makes it a little bit harder there. So our winner is the 4chan team, 2-0. But I hope you guys enjoyed the replay, and I will see you guys next time.